I looked everywhere trying to find a craft table that I wanted, and I seen a couple different ideas on Pinterest, but none for exactly what I wanted. I wanted one that was long enough that we could use, but not so deep that I wouldn't be able to access it from both sides, just reaching over. So I decided that I was just going to go ahead and make one myself. So that's what this video is, building my own craft table. The thinner 2x4s that you see inside aren't actually being used for the top. You'll be able to see it here in just a minute when I show you the other overall picture. Here's the picture where you can see where I used the smaller braces for the middle shelf. Here's a better picture, you can see it a little better. This is probably one of my least favorite things about building anything is having to sand. But here I'm using my Orbital sander, and I believe it was 80 grit sandpaper that I used. I wasn't going for, a pretty finish because I knew I was going to be painting it. I just wanted it to go over it real quick to make sure that there wasn't any splinters or anything like that, because I knew I was going to be painting, so a perfect sand job wasn't exactly necessary. So yeah. And here's a DIY paint mixer. No batteries required. Easy to use, goes anywhere with you. I decided to just use some leftover Kills paint that we had from when we was redoing the craft room. We painted our ceiling with this, so I just used the leftover paint to go ahead and paint this craft table up. Actually, even the 2x4s were left over, and the 2x10, the 2x4s we got from our son. He is currently remodeling his house, so we used these leftover pieces that he had for the 2x4s, and then the 2x10 that I used across the middle was actually left over from the deck that we had built out back last year. So the whole thing was pretty much all used with leftover stuff, except for the wheels that we put on later and the top, obviously. I knew I wanted the table to be able to be moved around, so we decided to add casters to it. We got these casters at Lowe's. It was under $10, so they weren't too expensive. But the design didn't exactly work. It was too top heavy, so we had to change the design up. Took these off and put them on. You'll see the new design later on. And here my husband's adding the top onto it with just little L brackets. We actually had these laying around, so, but I think you can buy them at Walmart. You can buy a whole package of them for a couple bucks, so still pretty cheap. And here you can see where we had to add the 2x4 to the bottom because it was so top heavy. Every time we tried to roll it, it was just like wanting to tip over. So we added the 2x4s to the bottom to give the base a little bit wider, and added the wheels to the bottom of those 2x4s, and now it rolls around just fine without tipping over.